What is the state of COVID right now?
What we know is that there is a lot of COVID-19 circulating in the United States and across the world. We know this a bit differently than we have in past years of the pandemic because we aren't collecting data quite the same way, but we are looking at hospitalization rates associated with COVID-19, and they've been up 19% in the past 2 weeks. So that gives us a lot of information about a lot of COVID-19 out in the communities.
What can you share about the latest variants and their risks to human health?
We have 2 new primary variants that are circulating in the United States, and the good news is that neither one of them appear to be particularly associated with more transmissibility or more severe infection. Even though we are seeing hospitalization rates go up, we still don't believe that these are more likely to cause a lot of severe infection. But the new vaccine that's going to come out in the fall will actually work really well for both of these 2 new variants, as well as our testing still works against these 2 new variants.
What does the timeline look like for the latest boosters and vaccine development? When would you recommend people get their latest COVID and flu vaccines for greatest protection?
The new vaccines are going to come out for COVID-19 sometime in September. We expect to see CDC and FDA approve them, and then they will be widely available after that. So probably sometime in October. The good news is the timing is actually great because that's exactly when we want everyone to get their flu vaccine and their COVID-19 vaccine for your most protection when we normally see a winter surge. So the timing is really quite good for this.
Are there any new or updated recommendations on what schools, parents, and daycares can do to prevent the spread of COVID, RSV, flu, and sickness this fall?
As we enter into the winter season and again are talking about COVID-19, talking about the flu, and talking about RSV, it's important for us to know that we have a lot of things to help with the transmission for all of that. So there's a new RSV injection as well as the updated flu vaccine and the new updated COVID-19 vaccine that will be available. We want to talk about the timing of those things. So the RSV injection, we want to separate that from the COVID-19 and the flu vaccine if you're a small person who might get it or if you're a person who's over the age of 60. So if you're over the age of 60, you can get your RSV injection now and then wait for the COVID-19 updated vaccine as well as your flu vaccine a bit later. We want to separate those out so that you don't have a lot of side effects associated with all 3 of the vaccines at one time. It's also really important for parents and schools to remember that any respiratory virus really is well handled with hand washing and making sure that you're keeping everything really clean, that you ask people to stay home if they are sick, and that you want to normalize wearing masks if that makes people more comfortable.